Hi VFM here. Get away from shore. US and Japan warn on tsunami. The US and Japan have advised people on their Pacific coastlines to get away from the shore as a precaution against tsunami waves caused by a volcano eruption in the South Pacific. Japan has warned of waves as high as 3 meters, and waves of 1.2 meters hit the south of the country. The US warned of strong currents and waves and coastal flooding. The huge underwater volcanic eruption caused waves of more than a meter to crash into Tonga. The eruption of the Hunga Hapai volcano was heard across the South Pacific, and eventually as far away as the US. Many parts of Tonga, whose capital is just 65 kilometers, 40 miles, south of the eruption, are covered in ash and are experiencing a near-total blackout of power, phone lines and internet services. The extent of any injuries or damage is still unclear. Social media footage showed water washing through a church and several homes, and witnesses said ash was falling over the capital, Nuku'alofa. One resident, Mir Taufa, said the eruption had hit as her family was preparing for dinner, and her younger brother had thought bombs were exploding nearby. My first instinct was to take cover under the table. I grabbed my little sister, and screamed at my parents and others in the house to do the same, New Zealand news site stuff.co.nz quoted her as saying. Ms. Taufa said the next thing she knew, water was rushing into their home. You could just hear screams everywhere, people screaming for safety, for everyone to get to higher ground, she added. The plumes of gas, smoke and ash pouring from the volcano reached 20 kilometers into the sky, Tonga Geological Services said. In Japan, the 1.2 m tsunami was recorded in the Kaminato district of Amami-Oshima Island in Kagoshima Prefecture at 23:55 Greenwich Mean Time, on Saturday. So violent was the initial 8-minute eruption that it could be heard as loud thunder sounds in Fiji, more than 800 kilometers away, according to officials in the capital, Suva. The Fijian government issued a tsunami advisory and opened evacuation centers for people in coastal areas. Vanuatu, another island nation in the Pacific, issued a similar warning. Professor Shane Cronin, a volcanologist at the University of Auckland, said the eruption was one of the biggest in Tonga in the past 30 years. This is a pretty big event. It's one of the more significant eruptions of the last decade at least, he told the BBC. The most remarkable thing about it is how rapidly and violently it spread. This one was larger, a much wider lateral spread, much more ash was produced. I expect there to be many centimeters of ash that have been deposited on Tonga. A spokesperson for the Australian government said the Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs were monitoring the situation and ready to provide support on request. A tsunami warning has been issued for parts of Australia's east coast and Tasmania. In New Zealand, which is more than 2,300 kilometers away from Tonga, the National Emergency Management Agency said coastal areas on the north and east coast of the North Island could see strong and unusual currents and unpredictable surges at the shore. Local forecaster Weather Watch tweeted about the eruption, "The energy release is simply astonishing," adding, "Reports of people hearing the sonic booms across New Zealand." By saying this, I will meet you guys in next video.